So this is going to be a reenactment, if you will, of a 5-minute lighting talk that I gave at NICAR 2023. The video is 4 minutes, 44 seconds, and it's going to show how you can very easily get started with accessibility testing. You don't need any in-depth coding or technical knowledge to do this. So let's hop right into it. I'm going to start by looking at this personal website that I built. It has some buttons, links, some sort of animated text here. There's a dark mode toggle, and that's great. But there's a tool, it's a Chrome extension. It's called Wave, and I'm going to open it up here. I installed this for free on Chrome, and it adds all these icons to the page immediately. They have different accessibility concepts highlighted. They have some issues highlighted on the page. There's different types of icons in that left panel. You see alt text. You're probably familiar with alt text. But there's many other things that you can sort of identify on the page. This one, of course, is a very small, basic page. And you can also look at the code. If you're not a coder, don't worry about it. But it is very helpful. If you have the code open and you click on different elements, it'll show where in the code that issue is actually occurring. So here we have a color contrast issue. This is important for people who are low vision or otherwise have trouble distinguishing between colors on a page. I'm going to use the Chrome developer tools. I'm pressing Command Option I to open that menu. And then I'm going to do this inspect element and actually collect the hex code for that link color. I then go into the WebAIM color contrast checker, which has some fields where I can put in the hex code and compare the contrast. So you see it fail some tests here. The WCAG AA and AAA are different levels. We always want to strive for AAA. AA is just another point of reference, but AAA whenever you can. So I adjusted the color with that slider, and I have a new hex code over there. Let's take that and put it back on the page, and you can see actually how the page updates here. This is a great way to get like a visual of it, and then you want to go update obviously your code or whatever CMS tool you're using to do that. But let's also check the color blindness. This is another free tool, Adobe Colorblind Safe. And I have a whole palette here where I put in the hex codes, and it shows me how those colors manifest across 3 common forms of color blindness. So this is another really important thing to test. You can't only test the contrast without testing color blindness as well. We're going to put in that red color, and you'll see that actually with this palette, there's no conflicts found. Try testing your own colors that you're using on your site, especially for like data viz and things like that, where color is important. This is a big deal. So don't discount that tool. But let's also look at another way to test the page by using the zoom level. So this is really easy. I'm just pressing Command+ on my Mac, and you see that dark mode button actually isn't available on this 200% zoom level. You should always test up to 200% zoom at least. And a lot of users will have this as like a setting, or they'll do this on all the pages they go to. So if you have text that overlaps or does weird things, it's going to be bad. That's an accessibility issue. It's also important to test the font in your browser. So here in Chrome settings, I have a font size configured. Let's put it at very large and see it updates automatically. So now let's go back at our page and see if it actually updated. It should have, but it only updated for that hello I'm text, which is already pretty large. So this is not good at all. This is another accessibility issue we've just identified very easily. And this is a good thing to sort of work on fixing if you have an issue like this, because you want to respect your user settings, and the text should be big if they want it big, right? Another thing that we can test very easily, just take your keyboard, open a page, start pressing the tab key. Just a tab key on your keyboard. In Chrome, other browsers you might need to do like another button or configure something, but in Chrome, just start pressing tab. You see these blue highlights? Those are called focus rings, and they're really essential for keyboard accessibility. So that shows someone that something is clickable and that they can currently click it with their enter key or space key, whatever it is. And you want to make sure you have those. Now we're going to use a screen reader. I press Command F5 to open the screen reader VoiceOver. It's built into Macs, built into iPhones. And I'm using the arrow keys here. So I'm holding down caps lock and pressing my left and right arrows. I can navigate different page elements on the page. I can also click around on the page to actually select an element. Because I'm a sighted user, I can see the screen. But you want to get a sense for how people that are blind or low vision use your website. So like cover your eyes or cover the screen or something while you're testing, and just try to navigate the page, see what it reads to you, listen to it. There's no audio here, but this is a good way to get a sense for it. You can see the alt text there. It's a great concept. Alt text is read by screen readers. So also get a sense for the different roles elements have, and it'll read the roles to you. And if you press caps lock U, the default voiceover controls, you can open this thing called the rotor. It has different links. I can use the arrow keys to navigate through. The headings, heading order is important. There's other types of things on the page like landmarks. And this articles menu is actually referring to like a role I have in the code. And this is bad. It should not have all these articles. That's meant for like standalone content or content that could be standalone. For some reason, all this text has the articles role. It's not good. So that's a way to identify accessibility issues very, very quickly. Okay. So the last thing I want to show here is the Washington Post open source accessibility documentation. This is through the Washington Post design system specifically. And we have a checklist on here with a lot more stuff that I did not cover during this talk. I only had 5 minutes. So definitely check this out if you want to get sort of entry-level understanding of accessibility issues. You don't need to fix all these things at once, Just start the things in this video. They're very quick, as I've just showed, and then work your way up. Find the things that are important, find the things that readers maybe have complained about or mentioned in the past, and prioritize accordingly.